Hello everyone, I just wanted to take a minute to go over where you can find the monitoring policy as well as the monitoring tools and guidance. So first of all, you'll notice I'm on our CFS help desk, so all of you should be able to have access to that. And once you get on the CFS help desk, you'll see all of these different areas and categories that have lots of helpful and useful information for our programs. So today I'm just going to focus on the policies and our monitoring tools. So first let's go into policies. And the policy we're focusing on today is the monitoring policy. So I'm going to go and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find our monitoring program performance policy. And I am going to go ahead and open that up for you because the part that I want to show you today is the self-monitoring piece, the expectation for our delegates and partners in grantee-operated programs. So here you'll see our policy guideline and it shows, right? Each agency is required to have a written ongoing monitoring procedure that allows for timely self-monitoring of all program components using the grantee's developed monitoring tools. Again, the grantees developed monitoring tools. I will show you those, and the reason we want you to use those is because that is what we use when we monitor, and that is where all the content leads put all of their wonderful guidance and policy information for you to implement into your programs consistently. Number 2, self-monitoring must take place at different levels of the program. For example, teaching staff and program managers will review the education component. So what that means is there'll be some self-monitoring of our own work, so you can have your family service staff look at their FPA goals and their referrals and use the checklist to self-monitor, which helps also train them. And then you'll have another level of monitoring where a manager comes in and reviews a percentage of those files. Number 3, the agency must follow a developed system for identifying findings, concerns, corrective actions, and documented follow-up. So what that means is once you're done monitoring, you need to summarize your visit and you need to identify anything that you found that was a finding or concern, and also anything that is a strength or a highlight you want to show staff that they're doing well. And also you need to have corrective action plans in place for any of those things noted on your self-monitoring that you identified. And the other piece to close the loop is that documented follow-up. So this is very important because you want to make sure that you have an ongoing system to monitor, to identify, and then put action plans in place, and then follow up and close that loop to make sure things are corrected. Number 4, the agency's self-monitoring results will be used in program planning and the self-assessment process. You'll notice on the self-assessment form, every single page has a place for program monitoring. So it's important that you're looking at your self-monitoring and reflecting on what you're finding in each of the areas with your program, staff, and team. And then a system must be in place to track and follow up on trends. So sometimes you might notice there's some small items that are site-specific or staff-specific, and those things might just need a quick correction or a quick training for that person, right, or site. But then there's other things that might be systematic and it might be bigger picture items. So you want to make sure you're tracking those trends. So if they're showing up at like 10 of your 15 sites, you might start thinking, this might be something more than just a training. Maybe we need to look at our system. Maybe we need to look at the guidance we're giving. Maybe we need to provide some simplified tools, or maybe we need to simplify a system. So remember, when you're looking at your trends, those are all the things you're thinking about. 5, self-monitoring activities will be documented on the agency's identified site visit report or COPA database. So you are allowed to use COPA for your own self-monitoring efforts, and all of the tools are in there. You can reach out to QAT helpdesk at stanco.org if you are interested in a training for your agency on how to use the COPA site visit tab. The grantee will monitor the program's self-monitoring systems at the monitoring review. So when we go to do your monitoring review, that is where we look at your procedure and your systems and documentation of your overall self-monitoring. Here, I'm not going to go through the whole chart because it's on the policy for you. You will see that we have different timelines here for our regional early and CCP programs, as well as our migrant seasonal Head Start programs for all of the different component areas. So it gives you a timeline of when grantee monitoring will take place so that you can fold in your self-monitoring within those timelines and look at your items. So, like I said, I'm not going to go through all those, but I'm going to go ahead and move on now and click us out of the policy. And I want to show you our monitoring tools. So when you click on the Monitoring Tools tab, you're going to notice that the monitoring tools are broken down by component areas. So you have your safe environments and active supervision, whereas all your unannounced supervision visits, your center-based and family childcare home health and safety visits, and also this optional tool here for a family childcare home visit by the specialist. We have ERSI, we have agency and file, we have family community engagement, we have education, disabilities, mental health, health and nutrition, human resources training, program management and quality improvement, program governance, and fiscal, and home-based and pregnant women. And we also have our state program monitoring tools here. So this page has a lot of tools and resources, and I'm not going to go through every single one, but my purpose here today is to let you know that these are here for your use. These are the checklists that you're going to be using with your own self-monitoring. I'm actually going to go into family community for the purpose of this training. So you will see that family and community engagement has a file, checklist, and guidance. So when I click on that, you'll see there's a checklist and there's a guidance. Now when I open up the checklist, you're going to see it is only the indicators that we're looking at. So none of the details of the guidance are here. And we use one checklist per file. And so it's a one-page document that has all of the indicators or the requirements listed over here. When you go into that guidance document, you're going to notice that all of the indicators are also listed, right? So, sorry, I don't want to make you dizzy. Up here, all the indicators are listed, but then over here is your guidance. And this is what you're looking for when you're monitoring, but not only that, this is your desk guide. This is what the system is, and this is the expectation. So if you're ever looking for a quick answer, let's just say for family partnership agreement, goals and strategies, you can look at the checklist and say, oh, that's number 3. So you go to number 3 on your guidance, and you can review what the expectation is. That's why it's so important that you are actually utilizing the guidance and not just the checklist. The checklist is a tool for documentation, so you can use that for your compliance and in compliance, but this guidance is your desk guide and includes several of our policy guidelines and expectations for the program. And like I mentioned, every single area has these tools. The agency checklist, I want to just go into that a little bit. The agency checklist is something that you use to monitor your overall agency systems. So most of the time at the grantee, we will do some visits and file reviews before we're able to actually fill out your agency. So these items are things that you do as an overall agency for each of the areas, and they also have guidance that go along with them. So here's your guidance here, and you just open it up and you're going to see the agency tools. I don't know why they open up like that, but I apologize. The agency tools are the same way. You're going to have your indicators here, you have your program performance standards and regulations, and then you have what that guidance and expectation is. So I always encourage staff, if you have questions, to please pull up these monitoring guidance tools, because a lot of those questions will be answered in there. I know that the leads, including myself, we update these to ensure that we're trying to be as clear and include as much information as we can without overwhelming you with too much. But again, these are on here under monitoring tools, and please use them to monitor your files, to give them to your staff, to train your staff. And I did want to make one more point here. With the agency guidance, a lot of times, especially in some of our bigger areas, you might think, oh my gosh, that's so much information, it's so overwhelming. But that's why I say, please use the checklist to identify what you're looking for. So, I'm sorry, I did not want to go there. I wanted to go to our file checklist here. So if you go here to the guidance, I'm just going to give you an example because, as you know, education, disabilities, and mental health is a huge component in our program. You have 22 pages of guidance, and that can be just overwhelming if you're just trying to read through the guidance. But if you use that checklist as a guide and think, I have questions about the DRDP assessment and the time periods and the observations, you can use that checklist to find your number, and you can go right to the number of the DRDP. So, number 8. So now you know I can go to number 8, and this is where the guidance is for what I'm looking at without having to review everything. So again, I just want to give you this other example, education, 22 pages, but if you go to the checklist here, let's open the checklist, it's a lot more manageable, right? That's a lot less overwhelming. So I would use the checklist to kind of look at, I have a question about child-family transition plans. That's number 23. You can pull out your guidance and go straight to number 23. So again, I just wanted to take a quick time to record a video because I know sometimes it's better to have these so you can rewatch them or share them with staff who might be new and need help finding information. So again, our CFS Help Desk is always up to date with the most current versions that you can find with the updates. And so again, I went over our CFS policy section today where I found the monitoring policy and went over the self-monitoring expectations, and I also showed you where to get our monitoring tools and guidance. Thank you so much.